welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, hello. My name's Hermione and I am currently renovating this Victorian house. It has been a roller coaster of a ride, but today I want to share with you the full hallway transformation from start to finish, because I did show you guys what it looked like before Christmas and it was all decorated for Christmas, but now I want to style it for the new year and show you guys some fun DIYs as well. I'm really excited about this video. And the best thing about this video is that it's in partnership with Anthropologie, which is by far the biggest pinch me moment I've had throughout my whole YouTube career, because you guys probably know, if you've been on this channel, I'm a humongous Anthropologie fan. Not a video goes by where I don't mention them or have something in the background that's Anthropologie related. Case in point, right here. So thank you so much to Anthropologie for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for watching it. Without further ado, let me show you what the hallway looked like at the very beginning, and then the middle, and then let's get to how it looks now.
So to flash back, this is what the house looked like when I first bought it about a year ago. It's not too bad to look at, but there was so much work to do underneath the surface. Over the course of the year, the hallway saw many changes, and as it was the most high traffic area in the house, I really didn't want to give it a full makeover until the worst of the work was done. Everything was ripped out, the walls were plastered and painted, the banister was fixed, and the electrics were worked on. By November, it was time to put carpet down, at which point it was looking a bit like this.
It's been a journey, but this is what it's looking like now. So it's looking a lot better, but I think it's about time we did some DIYs and some styling in the space.
I started by getting the messiest job out of the way first, which was staining the electrical box. My carpenter made this a few months ago, but I didn't get round to staining it until after the carpet was installed. Oops. But you'll be pleased to know that there were no wood stain related carpet incidents because I covered the floor with bin bags. I used a walnut coloured stain that was actually left over from doing the sitting room floors, and stained the cabinet kind of haphazardly because I knew I was going to paint over the MDF inserts. For this I used a white satin wood to match the skirting boards. Once it was dry, I had the absolute pleasure of ripping off all of the masking tape. I really enjoy this part. And then to finish off the project, I replaced the old handles with these lovely ones from Anthropologie. They match the hardware on the front door really well and tie the space together. Moving on to the next project, I wanted to make a big statement in my entryway with some patterned wallpaper, but without actually making a commitment to hanging any on the walls. I literally never want to scrape another piece of paper off these walls ever again. So instead I picked a large frame out, removed the print from inside and kept it for later, and then adhered the wallpaper to the wooden backing of the frame. This paper is the Charlie wallpaper from Anthropologie. It comes pre-pasted, so the glue is activated with water, which is really nice and simple. I used an old cleaning bottle filled with water and spritzed it really lightly over the back, and then waited a few minutes before lying the paper down on the board so it could get tacky. I then moved on to piece number 2, making sure that it lined up perfectly with the first one. Once I was happy with the placement, I put the frame back together and hung it on the wall. I love how this piece is big enough to make a fun and bold statement without making a very serious commitment to wallpaper. To the side of the frame, I added 3 coat hooks in different styles and sizes. I thought it'd be a really fun idea to mix and match them to add another little something something to the space. They're perfectly positioned to hang up a coat or a scarf as you walk through the door, and I really like the mixture of colours, textures and patterns. Moving on to the next project, I found a few shelf brackets tucked away in my DIY supply stash that I ended up staining in the same wood stain as I used on the electrical box. I knew I wanted to place a small shelf in this little corner next to the dining room door for a really long time, So I used the brackets to position this lovely Zahara shelf up on the wall. I measured and marked the position as per usual and used a leveling app on my phone to make sure it was straight before drilling into the walls to avoid making any mistakes. I then styled the shelf up, but you'll have to wait till a bit later to see how I did it. Another DIY I whipped up really quickly is the upcycling of this mirror. The mirror was actually originally left in the house, so I thought it would be a fun way to keep the spirit of the house alive. All I did was spray the mirror with metallic gold spray paint. I tried to lay it on kind of thicker in some areas to give it more of an antique look, but in hindsight maybe I shouldn't have done that, to be honest. But you live and learn. So once it was dry, I removed the tape and the bin bags that I had protecting the front of the mirror, and I hung it up on the wall opposite the staircase. It needed a really good clean, which was almost impossible to do because it had some like ingrained streaks of dirt on the glass, but with 3 different types of cloth and a few different types of window cleaner, I made it work. Speaking of cleaning, before styling the space, I had to have a quick whip around with Hetty the Hoover, and I also cleaned the glass console tabletops before adding all of my knickknacks on top of them. So I guess it's about time I showed you how this all came together. I started with the main console table, adding a potted cactus that wasn't getting enough light upstairs, an almost empty reed diffuser and a thrifted pot to this one side, and then on the other side I kept the original lamp in place and added this sweet little vase and a plate to hold my keys from Anthropologie. Under the glass I stacked a few books that I love to keep out for styling. And then to the right of the console table, I kept the chair in its place and added this gorgeous Brooklyn cushion to give it a soft pop of lilac and some much needed cozy texture to the space. I laid down the original striped rug closer to the door this time, and under the console table kept this wicker hamper in its place as it now collects most of the shoes in this house. I love bold colours and prints, so I added this print from Flow magazine to my new shelf and contrasted it with this thrifted wooden mirror and a silver plant pot. Of course the plant isn't real as there's no light in this corner of the house, and I'd hate to see one of my plant babies withering away over here. And lastly, I wanted to style the space above the electric box, so I tried to make a gallery wall by filling frames with pictures and artwork. I took this beautiful gilded frame called the Sullivan frame and filled it with January's page from my Matisse calendar. It's close enough to the end of the month, so I made the sacrifice. Plus, I really love this painting and didn't want to see it replaced by February's page. Anyway, once that was filled, I attempted to hang the frames on the wall. However...
So I've leaned all these pictures and the mirror back up on top of the electrical box. I was planning on doing a gallery wall up here. However, the wall is too thick to drill through. So I'm gonna have to patch this up, and I'm just gonna leave it for the time being. These might end up elsewhere in the house, but for now I think they look really nice, kind of just leaning. This is gonna bug me so much. With all of that being done, here is what it looks like now.
So this is how the space came together in the end. I'm really pleased with the way it turned out. I did go a little bit more eccentric with my colour choices and patterns in this room compared to the others. I just felt like because it was a small space, it needed something to make it more exciting than the rest of the house. My favourite piece is the framed wallpaper, as it makes such a statement as you come through the door. I love the colours and the patterns in the piece, and I just feel like it livens the house up a lot. As for the rest of the space, it's been really fun to experiment with the styling. I only wish I could have sorted my gallery wall out. Perhaps I'll get some command hooks or something this weekend and put them up, or maybe even put them up somewhere else in the house. Who knows? For now, they'll just have to lean. But yeah, this is how it all turned out, and I'm very happy that my hallway finally looks decent. So now I just got to finish the rest of the house.
So that's everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed seeing the transformation, because boy has it been a transformation. Next up on the agenda, I've got to do the kitchen and the dining room and the guest bedroom and more. So do stay tuned, there will be more. And with all of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.